you know, something was really going on. Like he cried and stormed off and started legal action. Billy Carson is a Greer camp guy, definitely in the super woo category of ufology, and he's definitely like a in the he's a in the ufology categories somewhere because his origin starts with UFOs, but he shows up in ufology, crosses over, I guess is the right word, into ufology a lot. And so I don't know, I was just clicking on stuff and watching stuff, you know, you know, being entertained, and I watched some guys, and I think it was the same guy who I end everything with here. What do you mean? I think that particular guy is who I first clicked on where I was watching anything about this Billy Carson thing that's been going on. And the way he was talking about it in the first podcast that I watched was, you know, something was really going on. Like he cried and stormed off and started legal action and etc. It doesn't. Well, after I watched it, it doesn't seem to be that bad, but it is kind of fun to watch. And uh, which one is this? Billy Carson collapsed mid debate. Wesley Huff exposes Bible lies. And so this is on PBD also. So PBD asked Dr. Greer about this. He's like, "Hey, what do you know about the Billy Carson thing?" And Greer said, "I don't know. I don't pay attention to nothing. I don't know anything about the Billy Carson thing. He's my friend." And so, because of that, and I had resisted, even though I kind of wanted to, anyways, I went and looked. Like, well, what was going on with Billy Carson? And so, Wes Huff, Billy Carson, the full, unedited, unaltered Wes Huff versus Billy Carson debate. And here we are at the very beginning. And like from this guy's initial coverage, I thought this was going to be a real train wreck. I mean, it is a train wreck, I guess, if you follow this stuff all the time. It's not as bad as you would think it's going to be. But at some time around here, Billy Carson leaves. So it's an hour and a half in. You'll see later he's explaining that he was sick the whole time and had been. But look, he puts his sunglasses on. He'd already been telling this guy, "I'm out." He had said, "This is my drop a mic moment," and then he started getting his stuff together. And then he tells the guy, "Okay, I'm gone." And he's like, "Oh, all right, yeah, see you, man. Do your thing." And I think I heard him say it a couple times earlier, like, "Oh, I know you have to get going." Apparently, in Florida, Billy Carson, this other guy, uh, live in the same neighborhood. And then there's Wes Huff, who defendant number one brought on to debate Billy Carson. I guess they were going to debate about, what they debated about, which was Billy Carson saying that, the Bibles that he is into say or don't say, I guess, more specifically, that Jesus wasn't crucified. So that's a rare debate. Everyone go. And they did. And so this is a lot to watch, and I watched it. And around this point, Billy Carson gets the fuck out of there. He'd had enough. This guy Wes Huff was fucking him up, and he really was. I don't know if you're a Billy Carson fan. I don't know how you are a Billy Carson fan. It's really hard to actually listen to him talk for like long periods of time for me. He probably wasn't on PBD just to talk about Billy Carson, but they did talk about it, and I just kind of found that when I was like looking, because I watched the full unedited thing, and I was like, I still don't get it, because even when I was first watching this guy, Whaddo You Meme, talk about it, it seemed like there had already been a long saga. Carson had already responded. Everyone else had already responded to that. He had already come back and responded again. And so, like, I looked for that. I didn't really find it exactly. Watching this guy, this is more like a response to Billy Carson's response. So you get some of the story here because Billy Carson, live streamed and was, I mean, really comes off as kind of a douchebag, a dick, like an asshole. The way he's talking about all these other two guys as being the defendants and how, and on this podcast, Wise Disciples, I think where I saw the, and that might not even have been on here, that might have been on PPD, but there's door cam, like ring cam footage of Billy Carson going back over to this feller's house at 3 a.m., a week later, with a cease and desist. And it probably was on PPD actually, where this other guy, Wesley Huff, was explaining all that. Because I guess the day after the Billy Carson thing, the main feller in the middle, I think they were calling Mark. Here it is, Mark Minard, called Wes and said, "Hey, Billy Carson doesn't want to air the episodes. We're not gonna." Wes said, "Okay, but please send me the episode," and Mark did. So Wes has the episode, and then he also told this guy Mark that I'm gonna do my own video and I'm just gonna say what happened, and he did that, and that's what started all this. That's what started the drama. Billy Carson responds back, which is what this guy's kind of responding to, and Billy Carson's response is, "I was sick. I didn't expect a debate. I thought it was going to be kind of a casual conversation about spiritual things. They ambushed me. I thought it was only going to be 30 minutes and it ended up being an hour and a half. They didn't let me talk. I'm super rich. All the people who have been criticizing me on the internet are poor. I'm a really nice guy. Everyone who doesn't like me is a real asshole." It's part of, like with the clip in here, a lot of the parts where he's saying I'm rich, he is saying I'm rich. Like, I hang out in a 8,000 square foot mansion and I have 5 air conditioning units and I take vacations to here, and it's, I mean, watching the footage is pretty incredible. It's pretty crazy. I mean, the Billy Carson rabbit hole here is super entertaining. And I guess this was only 16 minutes, but I spent a couple hours because I watched this thing trying to figure it out. And then I found Whaddo You Meme doing another video where he explains the whole thing. And this is another 20 minutes, but the whole thing is really closely explained, including all of the, wow, Billy Carson's an asshole. like a big asshole. Like, whoa. It's the worst we've seen it. And so this is the stuff that when I first saw it being discussed by Whaddo You Meme, that Billy Carson was like talking about, oh man, I really failed myself and my family and my wife and my kids in this video because this is a really bad video. It's way worse than the first part. And so he, went to that guy Mark's house with a cease and desist order, and then he sent cease and desist order to this guy. Then this guy posted this full unedited video that he got from Mark originally to kind of prove that he wasn't lying and they didn't have anything to cease and desist about, anyways. And then to kind of bring it back to Little Green Men is, I guess, because he was on PBD to talk about more than just Billy Carson. Here he is talking about Billy Carson, but Billy Carson and others who believe something really similar, that, Jesus is or was a descendant of aliens, is not true. That's a wild theory.